guys, in honor of today being Small Business Saturday, hopefully I post this video on Small Business Saturday. I think I'll get it posted today. In honor of today being Small Business Saturday, if you go over to workforitapparel.com, I'll put the link right here. I am doing a sale on all t-shirts, so check it out. And damn it, we don't want to leave a mess, so let me pick all these up before I jump into today's video. One of the questions I get asked a lot is if a Denali is worth the extra cost. And as you guys know, I came from a fully loaded LTZ Z71 Chevy, so I'll also be able to give you guys a rundown of whether GMC is really nicer than the Chevy and worth a little bit extra, all that good stuff. But as always, there's construction going on the street, of course, every single time I want to film here. So I say we jump in the truck and get this video rolling. Oh man, that sounds so lame. I don't even know why I just put that in the video. Luckily, I got the old 7.3 back there that still sounds like a real diesel until maybe some parts fall off of this one at some point. I don't know, but there's a reason I bought a 2016, so. Just found me a little quiet spot over here to film. A little Stony LaRue on the radio. So all right guys, let's jump right into this. As a lot of you guys know, I was a big Chevy guy. I always have owned Chevys. I've never owned a GMC in my life. Now, it's not like the good old days, or I guess, depending on who you are, you either loved or hated that Chevy and GM used to build pretty much the exact same truck. Now, that being said, they are still very, very, very similar. But in terms of how they used to be, like back in the early 2000s and 90s and all that, there's some decent differences now to kind of justify going one way or the other. It's kind of like how Kawasaki and Suzuki used to be pretty much the same damn bike, but not anymore. So the first thing I say we jump into is the difference between Chevy and GMC. And obviously the big one is the grille, the headlights, the entire front end. That's kind of what makes or breaks whether you want a Chevy or a GMC. It's the most prominent feature on the truck. It's the biggest difference that stands out. And it's one of the few differentiating factors between the two trucks. Now, if we're talking HD trucks, the GMC headlights versus the Chevy headlights, they're much nicer. Now, that being said, they're not as nice as the 1500 lights, which why they haven't put them in these, I don't know. They are compatible. You can put the 1500 lights in the 2500s. You just have to buy the adapter or the wire harness adapter and you'll be good to go. But it's also like a $2,200 upgrade just to buy the lights stock from the factory. So apparently GMC considers these work trucks, is what somebody's told me. That's why they haven't put the nicer headlights in, which is ridiculous because this is a Denali, which is like supposed to be top of the line luxury truck. But anyways, one of the biggest reasons I went with the GMC is because I wanted the GMC grille. I liked the front end. When the most recent Chevy body style came out, I actually didn't like it. I didn't like the front end. I was coming from an 05 where it had the single bar across the grille, and I was always jealous that my 1500 had the single bar and the 2500s had the little split bars in the grille. I always thought they looked so much better even though it was a small detail. And then of course, when I'm ready to buy the diesel, Chevy switches it back on me and the 1500s get the split bar in the grille and the 2500s get just that single bar going across. And I never liked it. I thought it looked like the old Blazers, the old Chevy Blazers. I thought it looked just like that. And I was actually starting to look at GMCs prior to buying my last truck because I just did not like the new Chevy front end. Now that being said, once I saw one lifted, it grew on me, and that's just the biggest thing. If you're ever looking at a truck and you're not too sure, wait till you see one lifted because it really does change the overall look of the truck. So once I saw one of the newer Chevys lifted, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to go. But after owning one and seeing how beautiful these GMCs are once they're lifted and all done up and everything color matched and painted and beautiful, I decided for the next truck I wanted to go that route. Now, one of the other differences between the Chevy and the GMC are these little, like, not fender flares, but this little plastic fender addition they did here. Not really sure why they did that. It doesn't even, it kind of dies into the bumper and looks dumb. Doesn't continue on. If I know plastic like I know plastic, I know all the Fords that used to have the plastic on the B-pillar right there. It just always ended up like bleaching out, looking old, and just looking shitty really fast. So why they would put that on there, I maybe understand it on like the work grade trucks, but on the Denalis and the higher end, like, why would you put that? So if anything, you're adding another piece to the puzzle that you're gonna have to get color matched if that's the look you're going for. Some people may like it. I personally don't like it being black unless it's on a black truck, obviously, because it blends in. But the black on the white, just the black cheap plastic doesn't look that good. So I'm gonna have it smoothed out and painted white to match the truck. So I always try and come to these quiet areas to film these videos, but apparently the neighborhood watch Prius driver is creeping on me to see what I'm up to. Probably gonna call the cops. Anyways, one of the other differences between the GMC and the Chevy is GMC has a locking tailgate with the key fob. So that's a big one. And why Chevy doesn't do that, I don't know. It's really loud though. You would think they can make. You'd think they'd make that quieter, but that's a really nice feature to have, especially if you have a tonneau cover. That way you never have to try and think if you remember to lock your tailgate or not by hand. And I know Ford has the automatic tailgate down with the push of the button on the key fob, which never made sense to me. If you have a hand free to pull the handle on the tailgate, what do you need the key fob for? Like, what's the difference? Now, if they, now I think a real game changer would be is if they do the little like wave your foot under the bumper thing like the SUVs have. That way if you actually have your hands full, you can wave your foot under your truck tailgate bumper and put shit in. Like, why they went the key fob way and not the little wave your foot way, I'm not sure, but that would be a huge improvement. And really the final difference between Chevy and GMC is, or at least if you're on the Denali side, is the Denali has the partially digital dash. So you guys see it come up there. So obviously this whole area right here is one big screen, so you can change all kinds of shit. Turn the music down here. You can display your info, do all kinds of stuff there. It's just one big screen. And one other difference is the, I guess, operating system for the head unit. So Chevy uses MyLink, GMC uses the IntelliLink. Now, coming from using MyLink for 3+ years, and then switching over to the IntelliLink, I will say, and I don't know if it's just because I had a first generation MyLink versus the IntelliLink, there's a lot less bugs in the IntelliLink. Like, things just seem to work a little more seamlessly. Now, that being said, when it comes down to typing in an address on the IntelliLink, this is where it drives me nuts. On the MyLink, it was just one line. You type out house number, street name, city, state. This one, you gotta tap each separate area, and then if you start typing out a street name, it eliminates letters for you. Now, that drives me nuts because that isn't always accurate. I've tried to type in a street name before and it eliminates the letters that I need because for whatever reason it doesn't have that programmed into it as being a viable street, and it was an old street. It's not like it was a brand new street. So navigation systems like that drive me nuts. I hate that limitation, and the MyLink didn't have that, but the IntelliLink does. So why, GMC, you switch that to this stupid setup? I don't know. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Chevy and GMCs have switched over. They are no longer air-conditioned seats from 2016 on. My 2015 did have air-conditioned seats, and for whatever reason, they got rid of it. It used to have like the little hard plastic cover on the back of the seats, and that housed, I guess, the unit for the AC, and it was cool. It would pump out a little hot air. It would suck in cool air on one side, pump out hot air on the other side, so I kind of felt a little bit bad for anybody sitting back there, but nobody ever complained. But if you'll notice on the control, it no longer says AC where the AC seat is, because they are now just ventilated seats. So it's like an air hockey table now. No longer is it actually, I guess, refrigerated air pumping up underneath you. It's just air. Now, if the cabin of the truck is cool, obviously you're pushing cooler air than if it were really hot. Now, price-wise, when you're talking about GMC versus Chevy, the Denali puts you in the high country price range. They're priced pretty much the same. So what differences you're going to get between the two is obviously you get to retain the Chevy front end if you'd like it, but the high country offers you its own exclusive interior package, which is pretty much just the different colored leather seats. But it's actually, you know, that's a cool feature. The Denali, you pretty much just have the standard black and tan. They don't offer you anything proprietary to the Denali line. So really, in terms of buying a Denali versus, say, a standard, what is it, the SLT Sierra, all you're really getting different, at least by what I've noticed, is the digital dash. So if you are really, really motivated on getting that digital dash, GMC is the only one that offers it. But I must say, and I must give GMC credit for putting this darker wood on the Denali interior. I don't know how well it's coming up on camera for you guys, but I know, like with the high country, and I think the older Denalis actually use that lighter wood, and it just looks fucking ugly. that was one of the reasons I went with the Z71 LTZ, is because the Z71 added like a mock carbon fiber look to it, just way better than the LTZ, just standard like light wood. Looked ugly. If you guys have seen the wood on the Escalades, it's like a matte wood, but it actually has the texture in it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you haven't, go check them out because it's actually really sick, and I wish they would put them on these vehicles. And so far, after owning this truck for almost a month, guys, we're almost at that 1 month mark of a shakedown. You know, I can't say there's any complaints about it really, other than the stupid typing in of the address. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, is the Denali worth the extra money? And coming from somebody that has owned both trucks, I would say it really depends on what you're looking for. If you just want to get into a GMC truck because of the front end, then you don't necessarily need to go Denali to do that. Now, a lot of people buy Denali because it's got the name. I mean, I hear everybody says, yeah, man, rolling in the Denali, like all that fucking stupid shit. So a lot of people buy Denali just because of the name, and it's supposed to be, you know, the luxury version of our trucks. And there's really nothing that much more luxurious about it than one trim level down. So literally the only reason I see to buy the Denali is if you are dead set on that digital dash. Otherwise, you will do just as fine with an SLT Sierra, and then you're probably going to debadge it like everybody else, and then nobody would really know the difference unless they got into the truck. In terms of the GMC over the Chevy, that really comes down to whether or not you like the front end. I know there's a lot of people that love and hate both of them, so I think that would be the biggest factor in that decision versus, you know, it's not like the Chevy versus Ford when it comes to luxury features, massage seats, and all that shit. They're really similar trucks. So kind of factor that in with your decision. I know the price difference isn't huge. You're talking maybe between a Z71 LTZ Chevy to the Denali, you're talking like a $4,000 price difference. So if that front end and that digital dash are worth $4,000 to you, then by all means, go for it. That's the reason I bought the truck. You know, it's a solid truck. It's very similar to my Chevy, but I definitely love it. And I can't wait until we turn this into the BBB, the bigger, badder, better truck that it is going to be. You know, I've been able to establish a lot of good connections in the industry from my last truck, and hopefully we come together and do a lot of really cool shit to this truck. And with that, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching these videos. Please do not forget to click the subscribe button if you have not done so already. That way you guys can keep up with the BBB build back there, the bigger, badder, better build. Wait, that's 4 B's. B, 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 B. I don't know. This is going to start getting confusing, but please click the subscribe button. That way you guys can stay updated with all the crazy things we are going to be doing to this truck. Also, don't forget to give this video a like, aka thumbs up, and don't forget to check out Work For It Apparel. The sale on all the shirts will be going on 24 hours after this video is posted. So from the moment this gets posted to 24 hours. And I also want to take a second to give a special shout out to all my small business owner brothers and sisters out there. Small businesses are the lifeblood of this country, and kudos to you guys for being willing to take the risk to turn an idea into a tangible thing, a real business. Ideas are a dime a dozen. Everybody's got them, and I'm sure as small business owners you guys will realize people that have never run a business will be the first people to try and tell you how to run a business. It's just the way it is. It's funny. You know, a lot of people aren't willing to take that risk, whether it be financially, emotionally, the stress levels involved in it. It's a lot that goes into turning an idea into an actual business, let alone a profitable business. So I want to give a special shout out to you guys, and I'm really proud to be able to stand side by side with you guys. So with that, catch you on the next video. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah.